Yo, what is up guys, FaZe here and welcome back to another video. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day, and today I'm going to be continuing my coverage of every single tier 10 that was changed in update 10.3. Today we're going to be going over the IS-7, a tier 10 Russian heavy tank, which you could somewhat call it a super heavy because of how strong this vehicle is, but I'm going to in all go over exactly what I think about this vehicle, exactly what was changed. I'm going to be giving you guys a full review on the armor and how to pen this vehicle and also how to angle it. I'm also going to be giving you guys a live battle on the vehicle to show you how it plays on a real life battle and why I think it might be one of the best Russian vehicles in the tech tree. With that being said, let's actually head straight into this. Before this video starts, I do want to mention that there is a little coupon code, whatever you want to call it, a code that you can enter in the game, which will give you some bonuses like gold and XP. It was given out publicly, but for those who don't know about it, I mean, my mate in the client here did put it out in the chat, so kudos to Demon Lord. But basically, if you are here first, I believe it is limited, so yeah, copy this as fast as you can, 00DA3BD8, and how you can actually activate that code is basically by going to settings, then you want to scroll down to enter bonus code at the bottom right here, and then you want to enter it there. You can also enter it on the Wargaming site. With that being said, okay, so having a look at what was actually changed on the IS-7 in update 10.3, basically the IS-7's engine power was decreased and its max forward speed becomes 3 kilometers slower. So the IS-7 basically became a slower heavy tank. It's not as fast as it used to be. The armor penetration was also reduced by 5 millimeters on its AP shells, but increased 17 millimeters on its premium APCR shells, which is very nice. It also received tungsten shells, which is absolutely fabulous. It means it can hit its high rolls way more frequently, as well as its HP count is now set to 2,550 points. So now that we've covered what was actually changed in update 10.3 for the IS-7, let's go over my equipment that I run on this vehicle. So basically I run gun rammer, but you can change it up for calibrated shells. Mind you, the tank did get an increase to its premium round, so now that that is the case, you can run gun rammer. However, if you want that extra pen, you can also run calibrated shells. I am then running enhanced gun laying drive, and then vertical stabilizer for the first row. Second row, I'm running improved modules, enhanced armor. That is a given. Don't run improved assembly on this vehicle because you can get a lot more armor when running enhanced armor, which we'll go over the armor in just a moment. However, that enhanced armor does increase this armor by a considerable amount. Like I said, we'll go over that, exactly what it changes. Enhanced tracks for the last one on the second row. Third and last row, I'm running improved optics, engine accelerator, and high-end consumables. Provisions wise, there wasn't really anything added to the provision, so you can just copy what I'm running there. Consumables, however, tungsten shells were added, so I would suggest running multi-purpose repair kits. And if you're risky like me, you can run adrenaline as well as tungsten shells, getting rid of that one little repair kit. So yeah, basically that's the provisions and consumables. Very happy about them currently. With that being said, let's head over straight to the Armour Inspector and how you could possibly angle this vehicle to get the most bounces, and possibly if you'd like to pen the IS-7, where exactly is the best place to pen it. Okay, so moving on to the armor on this vehicle, this is the IS-7 shooting at another IS-7. It is not running calibrated shells, and the IS-7 that I'm shooting at does not have enhanced armor equipped. And as you can see, look how incredibly armored the IS-7 actually is. However, there are some very key weak spots that you can pen this vehicle extremely easily. However, extremely easy is a far-fetched because in a real match, you're not really going to hit these little two weak spots that I'm showing you here, as well as right below the gun. Like, look at that, 999 millimeters of armor. That is ridiculous. What the hell, Wargaming? However, as you can see, currently how I'm actually facing the IS-7 is how you want to face the IS-7 in a real match. You want to directly face it towards your enemy, because if you're, for example, going to aim like this, as you can see, that upper plate over here becomes a lot more weaker and can be penned pretty reliably. Now, if this IS-7 was shooting calibrated shells, that is a definite pen over here. So calibrated shells do increase your chances of penning, for example, another IS-7, especially if the IS-7 is playing like a dodo and only facing one upper plate at their enemy. Now, if we had to face directly facing the enemy, like I did explain you should do. As you can see, this upper plate is impervious to any AP or standard rounds. However, if the IS-7 had to switch up to APCR, that upper plate in the middle here does become a little bit weaker, but as you can see, it's not a 100% chance of penning. You can also pen the IS-7 on its cheeks here. However, like I did mention, if you run enhanced armor like I do, it makes this tank extremely strong. Like, as you can see, you can no longer pen the upper plate with APCR, even when running calibrated shells with the IS-7. When you go into a face hug, there is a chance with the IS-7 you can pen this upper plate here, but most of the time you're going to be so close to the IS-7 that the best place to pen, you can't even get your gun down onto it. So the IS-7 is also fantastic at side scraping. It's one of the most troll vehicles to actually shoot the side of. You're probably used to shooting the side of an IS-7 and all of a sudden it bounces, and that is because this tank has a lot of spaced armor on its side, and it means that even at the slight tiny angle, this little strip over here is a 100% chance of bouncing. So yeah, the IS-7, fantastic at side scraping whenever. Okay, so let's head into a live battle with the IS-7. Now, the IS-7 is a vehicle that is very underrated. A lot of people think that it's the worst IS-4, but in this update, even in the previous update, the IS-7 has always been my favorite pick. I've always picked it over the IS-4, and that is mainly because this tank is so incredibly mobile, and it hits very, very hard. Its armor is also incredibly strong when used correctly. So with this update, for its mobility being a bit slower, it doesn't mean you're a slow vehicle by any means. The amount of armor you have actually overwhelms the speed that this tank has. I'm still going upwards of 40 kilometers, as you can see. Now the IS-4 is a bit faster in this update now. It's actually pretty on par with the IS-7. And in this situation, I do notice that the enemy team doesn't really have many heavy tanks. So I'm going to assume that most of them are going to push left side, and I am incredibly wrong about that. There is a Type 71 on my right. It looks like this Type 71 and Chieftain just took ages to get into position. So that was almost a very bad decision for me to just rush over there. But luckily, we do end up spotting them before I do push too frequently there. So this tank also now has tungsten, which means you can hit upwards of 500 damage, no problem, even 600. And this Chieftain did bounce my rear here, and that is just shows you how good the side armor on this vehicle is. I'm gonna poke directly sideways here, not caring, because I can put a very hard hitting shot into that guy. And this is all you want to do when you face the enemy. You kind of want to bob in and out of showing them your tank or your pike nose directly on. I did bounce that shot ridiculously there. I shouldn't have just rushed that shell. I should have waited and made sure that it went in. I'm going to go for another shot into him and then dive in and out of just showing him my frontal plate there, and he does end up bouncing me again, actually going through my track wheel there. Now, because he's showing me his rear, we should be able to get an HE round into the back of him, but he does turn just that quick enough so that I didn't manage to do that. So that is unfortunate, but it happens. So we should be able to deal with him any second now. He is going to show his side again, but I'm not going to waste my shell on shooting him. Now, there are so many people behind me here, so I'm just going to try drive forward here so that they can't shoot me. Try get an HE round into this Chieftain if I can, and we do manage to hit him for 641 damage. We did damage his fuel tank there, and that is why we did a bit extra damage there. But I'm hoping if we can get a few more shots here. Don't know what this WZ is doing. I'm not sure why he's deciding to reverse directly into me instead of reversing sideways. Yeah, some players, man, they really do confuse me. But he does end up taking the kill for the Chieftain, so good on him. I'm going to take an APCR round through the side of that Type 71. And as you can see, the armor on this vehicle doing the deed, man. I'm not even trying to angle against these guys, and I'm bouncing so many shells. And that is what the IS-7 does, like just what that other IS-7 just did to me. Yeah, completely absorbing shells like nobody's business. And that, I guess, is what Russian bias is. We're going to go for another round through this track wheel again, this time pinning that IS-7. Because I'm tracked, I do end up taking a good round there from that IS-7. But hopefully when I load up to my tungsten round here, I can kill that Type 71 through his side. And there we go, guys. Against 3 guys in front of me, and I'm still alive. That is what the IS-7 does so incredibly well. Staying alive and bouncing the shells. The mobility on this vehicle also means that you can get into the front line before the enemy even gets to get into a position to counter you. And that mobility mixed with that fantastic armor and that decent HP now that the vehicle now has means that you can just completely hold the line, no problem. And as you can see, we pull out 4,600 damage without hardly even trying there. We bounced 2,500 damage, again, not even trying. I wasn't even trying to bounce shells, and it just kept coming. The IS-7 is just so good at that. We destroyed one target and held a line of 4 vehicles, so that is just what the IS-7 does incredibly well, guys. Let me know what you guys think of the IS-7. One of the best Russian tanks in my opinion. It's probably the best Russian heavy tank, and this tank is just so strong, and I am a big fan of it. Definitely a pick for me. I love the IS-7. It's extremely fun with that high alpha. It means that you can hit targets extremely hard, especially with having tungsten nowadays. Anyways, guys, that's it for me today. Hope your shots hit their marks, and I'll check you in the next one. Cheers.